give thanks. Look like your head's giving you another day. Heart's pumping, blood's flowing through your veins. Lift your hands and giving God all the praise. Don't you be ashamed to praise His name. Don't you be ashamed to praise Him. Know that He's giving you everything you need. Cast your cares upon Him. Trusting God is with you. Everything is done because of His only Son. One day at a time, taking back what's rightfully mine. One step at a time, walking and doing my dance at the same time. Can't dance, snap your fingers like this. Know that the joy of Yahuah is your strength. One day at a time, taking back what's rightfully mine. One step at a time, walking and doing my dance at the same time. Can't dance, snap your fingers like this. Know that the joy of Yahuah is your strength. Yeah. When problems arise in your life, seems like there's nothing going right. Know that it's working for your good. Lift your hands up to the sky. Remember why Yahusha died, and put your trust in Him and let His joy take flight. One day at a time, taking back what's rightfully mine. One step at a time, walking and doing my dance at the same time. Can't dance, snap your fingers like this. Know that the joy of Yahuah is your strength. Do your dance, let me see you do your dance. Stop. One step at a time. Do your dance, let me see you do your dance. Stop. One step at a time. One day at a time, taking back what's rightfully mine. One step at a time, walking and doing my dance at the same time. Can't dance, snap your fingers like this. Know that the joy of Yahuah is your strength. One day at a time, taking back what's rightfully mine. One step at a time, walking and doing my dance at the same time. Can't dance, snap your fingers like this. Know that the joy of Yahuah is your strength. Do your dance, let me see you do your dance. Stop. One step at a time. Do your dance, let me see you do your dance. Stop. One step at a time.
Wait a minute. Let's bring that back.
Do your dance, let me see you do your dance. Stop. One step at a time. Do your dance, let me see you do your dance. Stop. One step at a time.
Break it down.
Dance before you.
me a path. I'm yielding to your will. Your loving commitment will endow me, surround me in my coming and my going. Cleanse me, purge me. I want to be white as snow, so I may testify of your love to those in search of you. Show me the way. You desire truth. The inward parts you make me know you. Take my hand, casting all my cares. Refresh me with the waters of life. Like a child crying softly, forgive me. Allow me to approach your throne. Know me, yeah. Know me. Have mercy upon me, O Elohim, according to your loving kindness. According unto the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only, have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that you might be justified when you speak, and be clear when you judge. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part you shall make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O Elohim, the Elohim of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of your righteousness. O Yahuah, open up my lips, and my mouth shall show forth your praise. For you desire not sacrifice, else I will give it. You delight not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of Elohim are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Elohim, you will not despise. Do good in your good pleasure unto Zion. Build you the walls of Jerusalem. Then shall you be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar.
say shalom to you all, Mashpaka. I'm delighted to be here today as we give Yahuah praise, honor, and esteem together. I'm going to play one more song and then we're going to get into our study and our fellowship today. Shalom to you all. May Yahuah Barak truly Barak you, and may his favor continually be upon you.
It's looking bad here. When this happened, Yahusha, when you coming back? How'd it get so bad? Delusion of freedom is leaving and it's getting away so fast. Conclusions creeping up on this place and it's coming in with a blast. How we become so despicable, bunch of selfish individuals. At best we just miserable rags, and it makes me sad. What kind of place think it's okay to take kids from their dad? Still from the poor we get to the bad, it's sick where we at. This world's very contrary, opposite and answer them of what Yahuah handed them. They trampling this planet and they damaging the land and invading the skies with cancer and not giving us a chance. But when Yahuah called, I answered him. I'm fearing him on the mountain, declaring his good news to those that's hearing him. He's sealing them, the wicked he's revealing them, the sickness he is healing them. Yes, he is very real, and when you believe you will hear from him. He's calling those that seeking him with all they being in, hearing and receiving him in true love and believing him. I'm meeting him on his name. And he'll draw you to Yahusha. Call his name, call his name, call his name. Please come, Yahusha, we need you. Please come and get your people. We are but just a remnant that's strengthened by what you speak to us. We need you to breathe in us, keep feeding us, keep leading us and teaching us, increasing us until the day we be with you. It's dark folks here ain't seeing ya. Most think that they believe in ya, don't see that they deceiving. Just continue in that heathen stuff. But I'ma keep speaking cause there's only just one truth. All those doctrines, denominations are all so far from you. You knew it's all from the womb. I'll seek you until the tomb, hoping that you coming soon. The one reason ain't doom and gloom, but in this darkness we need your light to guide our path and be our light. Guide my words and what I write so we don't Proverbs 11:9. Yahuah, go ahead, use me. Whatever your plan, include me. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. There's nothing else worth pursuing. I'll be seeking your face all the way until the day I'm in your presence. When the heavens come to this place and you stay, I pray. Oh, his name, Yahuah, he'll draw you to Yahusha. Call his name, call his name, call his name. Call on his name, Yahuah.
Yahuah. Once again, I want to say shalom to you all, family. It is great to be with you today. Great to see each and every one of you, and wonderful to know that Yahuah has brought us together once again in his great name. And so we barak the great and awesome name of Yahuah. It is my prayer today, it is my hope that Yahuah would barak this time, and that our ears, our hearts would be filled with his dabar, with his esteemed word. And so, family, just want to take a moment to say shalom to each and every person. I'm going to begin over here on YouTube. Greet my mashpaka here on YouTube. Want to say shalom to Akut Anitra. It is wonderful to see you as always, Akut. And also want to say, and Akut Anitra sends shalom to the entire mashpaka. She said shalom, Allahu Yahuah. And also Akut G. I want to say shalom to my Akut G. She says shalom to you all, family, and to my Akut Mahalia, she greets the Mashpaka, and also my Akut Valerie. I want to say shalom, family. It is wonderful to see each and every one of you. Akut Mary want to say shalom, and she sends greetings to the Mashpaka. Also to the family on Fuse, I greet you all today in the great and the awesome name of Yahuah. Wonderful to see each and every one of you, and to know that Yahuah has brought us to yet another point of fellowship. Trying to get Fuse Zoom, not Fuse, but Zoom. Where did my Zoom go? Okay, here we go. Bear with me here. I want to say shalom to my Akut G is also represented there. Akut Shar. I want to say shalom to Akut Shar, Bat Yashar Al, daughter of Yashar Al. I also want to say shalom to my Akut Adelaide Farley, to Aki Alan Yahu. Wonderful to see you, my Aki. To Akut Lena, I want to say shalom to you, Akut. And by the way, family, Akut Lena joins us each fellowship from Canada. Quebec, Canada, that is correct, Akut. And we want to send our ahab to you there in Canada. And also want to say shalom to Akut Mia. Akut Mia Farley, that is. Shalom to you, Akut. Wonderful to see you as always. To my Aki Yaram Yahu, Akut Yolanda. Greetings to you all in the mighty name of Yahuah. Also want to say shalom to my Akut Yisraela and to and of course Aki Alan Yahu. That's Akut Yisraela's Ash or Ayash, right? Want to say shalom also to my Aki Azar Yahu. Okay. Shalom to you, my Aki. And family, it is again wonderful to be here. We greet you all in Yahuah's great name. All right. Now, we are we're going to I'm going to open up here in prayer, family, and you know, I'm excited about today's study. I believe that Yahuah's word, it will speak to us in ways, and his word is always relatable. And I'm sure with our subject today, many of us can relate to it. Many of us, I'm sure, if you should go around the assembly and ask, I'm sure that a lot of us may feel as if we are the black sheep in the family, right? And so we're going to talk about the black sheep in the family a little bit today. We're going to talk about jealousy, envy, and what all of those lead to. We're going to talk about best friends and worst enemies, you know. So it is my hope that Yahuah's word will truly be a barakah, that it will be an encouragement to you, because sometimes, you know, this walk can feel quite lonely. And it can feel so lonely that it could make you want to throw in the towel. It could make you want to give up and, you know, just make yourself at home joining in with the crowd. But it isn't important to stay the course and to continue to trust in Yahuah. And so it is my prayer that you will find his word today encouraging and uplifting, and I believe that you will. Before we go any further, I'm gonna speaker isn't working. Might wanna exit Akut, and you might want to exit, and then on the way back in, make sure that the computer audio is selected. Make sure that computer audio is selected, and then it should work, hopefully. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna open up in prayer, and then I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump into our study. Later on, we'll open up the microphone to any comments, questions, testimonies, anything that you would like to share with the Mashpaka. I'm gonna open up the microphone a little bit later on to that. Halal Yahuah. Praise Yahuah. Hallelujah. Father, we thank and praise you for this time. We say, Toda Yahuah, for the opportunity to be assembled once again in your great name. Toda for our computers. Toda for internet connection, for the ability to afford a connection. Toda for your provision. Toda for your protection. Toda for your shalom. Toda, Yahuah, for your guidance. We say Toda for your great goodness. Each and every day. We barak you, Yahuah. We barak your great name. We esteem you. We ask today that you would lead us continually, that you would continue to guide us, that your favor would be upon us. We ask that you would barak our homes, barak our children, barak our minds, barak our bodies, barak our lives, Yahuah. May we not walk in ignorance, Yahuah, but may we continue to walk in your light. Seek out your truth and walk in it. Pray that you would give us wisdom, Yahuah, as we move through our lands of captivity. Pray, Yahuah, that you would show us the way, Yahuah, and help us to walk in it. Do this, we pray, in your great name. May you barak this word today. May it go forth with power. May it go forth with clarity. May it go forth with and in your authority. Do this, we pray, in your great name. Come on. Allahu Yahuah. Allahu Yahuah. Barakatah Yahuah. Barakatah Basham Yahuah. Allahu Yahuah. We give you praise, honor, and esteem. Allahu Yah. Praises to Yahuah. Praise Father. I want to say shalom to my beloved Akut Yarayah. Wonderful to see you, Akut. Who else? Hopefully I haven't missed anyone. And also I want to take the time to say shalom to my Facebook family. We do have, and I'm not on Facebook right now, but we have someone else joining us also from Canada via Facebook Live. And so I want to say shalom to our Mashpakat joining us via Facebook Live today. Truly may you find this fellowship to be a baraka, and may Yahuah continue to barak your life greatly. Hallelujah. Well, with that said, as I said before, we're going to get into our study today. We are in the book of, we're in what they call the forgotten books, right? And so we're reading from the book of the 12 patriarchs is what we're reading from. And so we're going to start out now. We're going to start out today in the book of, they say Simeon, but his name is actually Shama'un. Shama'un. Okay, Shama, here, Un. Okay, Shama'un is the book that we're in. They say Simeon, but his name is actually Shama'un. Okay, and so he's one of the 12 patriarchs of Yahusha. And so we're going to be reading from his account today as he was getting ready to pass on. He called his sons together, as was the practice of our people, of our ancestors, the fathers. They would call their sons together, and as death draws near, and they would either barak or they would curse their children, okay, based on character and what Yahuah has revealed concerning them. And so today we're continuing to read in the book of the 12 patriarchs. We're in the testament of Shama'un. They say Simeon. So I'm going to be putting that up on the screen, family, and we're going to be going to the book of Barashit also. We're going to be going to the book of Barashit. So we're not just going to be in one place today. Let me just get this back on the screen. Where are we at? Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Okay. Let me make sure that our family on Zoom can also see the text. Bear with me here. Alright, so we should be all good. So chapter 1 from the Testament of Shama'un. It says, Shama'un, aka Simeon, the second son of Yahuah and Leah, the strong man. He becomes jealous of Yahusha and is an instigator of the plot against Yahusha. Now, the title of our study for today, family, if you're on YouTube, you won't see the correct title because I need to change that. But the title of our study today is Your Best Friend Could Be Your Worst Enemy. And in some way, your worst enemy could be your best friend. So the title of our study today is Your Best Friend Could Be Your Worst Enemy. Okay? And these are lessons taken from the word of Yahuah, the life of his people. And I'm certain there are things that we can relate to. We have had instances in our life where we think that those who are for us are actually against us. Okay? And usually what drives that, what causes that, is the fact that there is jealousy involved. Some people, it might be family, it might be friend, and oftentimes it could be family. But some people, you might be going through life trying your best to live as peaceably as you can with those around you, whether it be friends or family members. And you just cannot figure out why it is that you can't please them. Why it is that nothing that you do is ever right in their eyes. And what we're going to discover today, and I'm sure we all already know it, is that sometimes what drives that is jealousy. Sometimes what drives that is envy, you see. And ultimately what it comes down to is the favor of Yahuah in your life. The favor of Yahuah in your life. You know, I heard, no, I can't even say that. I can't even say that, because what I was going to say was I heard T.D. Jakes some years ago said that favor ain't fair. Favor ain't fair. And for a second there, I almost agreed with him. But the reality is that favor is fair. Favor is fair. You see? Favor comes from Yahuah. In the sense, it's not fair in the sense that you don't deserve it. We don't deserve his favor. But that's not the perspective that T.D. Jakes was speaking from. But favor is not fair in the sense that we don't deserve his favor. You see? And that's why it's favor. It's called favor because it's something that we don't deserve. You see? We have been given something that we don't deserve. But favor is fair in the sense that Yahuah in his justness determines who he favors. And so in that sense it is fair. Okay? In his justness and in his wisdom and his knowledge, he determines who he favors. Okay? Now, so it says Shama'un, the second son of Yahuah and Leah, the strong man, he becomes jealous of Yahusha and is an instigator of the plot against Yahusha. The copy of the words of Shama'un, the things which he spake to his sons before he died, in the 120th year of his life, at which time Yahusha his brother died. For when Shama'un was sick, his sons came to visit him, and he strengthened himself and sat up and kissed them and said, Hearken, my children, to Shama'un your father, and I will declare unto you what things I have in my heart. I was born of Yahuah as my father's second son, and my mother Leah called me Shama'un because Yahuah had heard her prayer, hence the name Shama'un. Yahuah heard her prayer, and so she named him Shama'un. Moreover, I became strong exceedingly. I shrank from no achievement, nor was I afraid of anything. For my heart was hard, and my liver was immovable, and my bowels without compassion. Because valor also has been given from the Most High to men in soul and body. For in the time of my youth I was jealous in many things of Yahusha, because my father loved him beyond all. Now I want to stop there for a second, and I want to make an observation, and I want to make a point here very quickly, something that we need to be careful of. My point is this: that your greatest strength you could find, and you will often find that your greatest strength is your greatest weakness, or could be your greatest downfall. Your greatest strength could be your greatest weakness or your greatest downfall. I'm going to use the text here to emphasize the point that I'm making. He said that, Shama'un said, he said, going back to verse 3 and continuing, he says, "Hearken, my children, to Shama'un your father, and I will declare unto you what things I have in my heart." Now watch this. He says, "I was born of Yahuah, my father's second son, and my mother Leah called me Shama'un, because Yahuah had heard her prayer. Moreover, I became strong exceedingly." So here it is. He is strong, very strong. Okay? So you have a strong man, a very strong man. Point number one. That's a strength for him. He is very strong. Okay? He's very strong. "Moreover, I became strong exceedingly. I shrank from no achievement." So he was strong and he was an achiever. He was strong and he was an achiever. Okay? The fact that he is strong and he is an achiever tells us that he is very ambitious. He is strong, he is an achiever, which means then that he is very ambitious. He was a very ambitious individual. Okay, so that should begin to give us a little bit of insight into how it is that his strength could become his greatest weakness. He is strong, he is an achiever, and he is very ambitious. So this is going to explain why it is, as we continue to read, it's going to explain why it is that this man who is strong, who is perhaps an overachiever because of his strength and his ambition, why it is that this man would then find himself jealous of his brother. Because he is strong, because he is an achiever, and perhaps even an overachiever, and as a result he is very ambitious, it means then now that he feels as if nothing should stand in his way. Nothing or no one should stand in his way. In other words, he should be at the top at all times. You see, his strength, when not put in its proper, when not managed properly, when not dealt with in humility, cause him then to feel as if he should be superior to everyone. He was gifted with strength. He was gifted with the ability to achieve greatly. Hence he became quite ambitious, to the point that he felt like nobody, that he should always be the center of attention. And the moment that somebody else takes that place, he begins to have a problem with that. Because after all, I'm the strongest in the room. I'm the greatest in the room. I'm the biggest achiever in the room, or should be. And so, how dare him try to steal my spotlight? His greatest strength becomes his greatest weakness. So he says, moreover, I became strong exceedingly. I shrank from no achievement, nor was I afraid of anything, for my heart was hard. Okay? His greatest strength becomes his greatest weakness. Because even though you might be strong and mighty, and even though you might achieve much, one of the things you've got to be careful of is that you continue to maintain your humanity. But his strength and his ability to achieve caused him to lose touch with his humanity. He lost touch with his brothers. He lost touch with his sisters. And now it was all about him. He lost touch with his nation. And now it's all about him. Nothing should stand in his way. His greatest strength becomes his greatest weakness. He begins to rely only on his strength. He felt as if he needed nobody else. And if you need nobody else, then it takes nothing for me to destroy the people in front of me, for me to get to where I feel like I need to be. His greatest strength becomes his greatest weakness. And when you get to that place of feeling like you're so strong you don't need nobody, that is the beginning of your downfall. So he says, moreover, I became strong exceedingly. I shrank from no achievement, nor was I afraid of anything, for my heart was hard. My heart was hard. My liver was immovable. Wasn't nothing shaking me. And my bowels without compassion. He had lost compassion. He had become so self-reliant. He had felt so highly of himself that he felt like he need nobody else. Should nothing or no one stand in his way. He lacked compassion. Because valor also has been given from the Most High to men in soul and body. Yes, he had the gift. He had the gift of valor, the gift of courage. He was a warrior. He was an achiever. He was strong. But he got too wrapped up in the gift. He got too wrapped up in the gift, he began to praise himself. And when you begin to praise yourself, you spend so much time, you see, whatever you praise is what you focus on. Or whatever you focus on is what you're going to praise. And he began to focus so much on himself, it brings about praise of himself. And as long as he continued to focus only on himself, he sees no one else, and nobody else matters. He loses empathy, he loses compassion, but yet he is strong. For in the time of my youth I was jealous in many things of Yahusha, because my father loved him beyond all. Okay? So here it is. He felt like he is strong. He is an achiever. There is nothing that he was afraid of. And in his mind, these are qualities that his father should praise above anything else. And as a result of him being the way that he is, his father should love him above everything else and above everyone else. And as a result, he loses compassion for his younger brother. His younger brother meant nothing to him because he was too busy praising himself. He was too busy looking at himself. He was too busy esteeming himself because of his perceived greatness. So he says, for in the time of my youth I was jealous in many things of Yahusha, because my father loved him beyond all. And I set my mind against him to destroy him, because the prince of deceit set forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded my mind, so that I regarded him not as a brother, nor did I spare even Yahuah, my father. He says, I set my mind against him to destroy him because what? Because who? Because the prince of deceit set forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded me. Sent forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded me. Now let me ask you this, and let's get real. Who is the prince of deceit, and where does the prince of deceit dwell? You see, a lot of times when we have our flaws, we like to point outwardly. We like to blame it on something outwardly. But is that always the case? You know, I came across a post this week on Facebook, and I'm going to try to pull it up here real quick because I don't want to misquote it. But let me try to find this post very quickly. Let me just try to pull it up here very quickly. I believe it's perfect for what we're talking about. A lot of times you're looking for the adversary and you're looking for the enemy. You're blaming the enemy for this, and you're saying that, you know, some people like to say the devil made me do it, right? Well, sometimes you got to ask, where is the devil? And who is the devil, so to speak? You see, when Kafa tried to hinder the will of Yahuah, Yahusha said to him, get behind me, Shaitan. Get behind me, Shaitan. Who was Shaitan? Shaitan wasn't some other force, some invisible force. Shaitan was Kafa. When you stand in the way of the will of Yahuah, you become Shaitan. You become the adversary. And sometimes we're steady looking for the adversary all around us, and we're pointing here and we're pointing near, not realizing that the adversary is actually within us. In many cases, we are our own adversaries. In many cases, we ourselves are working against the will of Yahuah for our lives. Why? Because the spirit of deceit dwells in us. We deceive ourselves. Why in the writings it warns us about our hearts being deceitful and desperately wicked, and being careful that our hearts do not deceive us, right? I'm trying to find this post here very quickly. It's taking a little while for me to scroll down to it. Taking a little while to load. Bear with me just for a second, but I want to read this because I think it speaks to the condition perfectly. Things taking a little while to load here. Bear with me. Ah, come on. It's taking a while. I got too many things posted and it's just slow getting to it. Bear with me here. Just bear with me, family. The only reason why I want to find it is because I don't want to misquote it. I want you to hear it just like it's stated. Here we go. It says, in the search to find the enemy, the journey ends face to face with the inner me. In the search to find the enemy, the journey ends face to face with the inner me. You see, the point is, sometimes we are our greatest adversary. Many times we are our greatest adversary. In the search to find the enemy, the journey ends face to face with the inner me. We got to continually examine ourselves, because our greatest strength can become our greatest weakness. And that's what was happening here with Shama'un. Okay? Now, let me read a little bit more, and then we're going to go to Bereshit. Okay? We're going to go to Bereshit. Because in the same way that our greatest strength can be our greatest weakness, your closest friend can be your worst enemy. And your worst enemy, in a strange kind of way, can be your best friend. So he says, "For in the time of my youth I was jealous in many things of Yahusha, because my father loved him beyond all." It is important, family, that we do not allow that spirit of jealousy to take residence in our hearts and in our lives. Because the only thing it's going to do is it's going to hinder us. You're going to hinder yourself when you operate under jealousy. When you can't stand to see somebody else succeed, when you can't stand to see somebody else be honored, when you can't stand to see somebody else do good, and you're thinking to yourself that that should be me, then what you end up doing is you end up destroying yourself. You end up suffocating yourself, because rather than applauding that person and helping that person, and in helping that person you're actually helping yourself. No, you're not doing it to help yourself, but that's just the way it works. When you help others, you help yourself. When you do good to others, you're doing good to yourself. But instead of helping somebody because of jealousy, you say, you know what? I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to fold my hand. I ain't doing nothing to help them. And guess what? As you sit there and you fold your hand, you get lost in the shadows. And you find you go nowhere, you grow nowhere, you have no success. Because you're too jealous of someone. It could be family. It could be friends. It could be a stranger. Because amazingly, people are jealous of strangers also. And that's a dangerous thing. Yahuah warned us not to be jealous of anybody. We're even jealous of the wicked. Yahuah tells us not to be jealous of the wicked. You don't know how he come by what he got. But your jealousy is saying that what jealousy says is that I feel like I should have what he has, and by whatever means he got it, then so be it, but I should have it. And if he got it by wicked means, that means that you are just as wicked. Your heart is just as wicked as his action. Because you don't care about how he got it, you just want what he has. Or what she has, right? So for in the time of my youth I was jealous in many things of Yahusha, because my father loved him beyond all. The question now is, why? Why did his father love him more than the others, than the other brothers? There are a couple of reasons. And I believe that one of those reasons we often overlook it. And we're going to look at it today. We're going to look at it today. But as a result of this hatred and this jealousy that he has for his brother, he said, I set my mind against him to destroy him, because the prince of deceit set forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded my mind. Who is the prince of deceit? It's his own mind. It's his own pridefulness. It's his own thought process. The prince of deceit, in some ways, he's trying to blame it on somebody, not realizing that the prince of deceit is himself. He deceives himself because he thinks that he is the most wonderful thing and the most wonderful person that has ever existed. And so he deceives himself. And so the enemy is within him. The prince of deceit is himself. I set my mind against him to destroy him, because the prince of deceit sent forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded my mind, so that I regarded him not as a brother, nor did I spare even Yahuah, my father. And so, you know what's really weird and sad about that? You know, you look at our society today, and you look at how people just, how the evil that they do to other people, right? They might kidnap a kid, and they do all kinds of stuff to that kid, and then they kill the kid, right? But they don't take a minute to think. They're so filled with hatred, jealousy, envy, deceit, wickedness, vileness, lust, and whatever else. They're so filled with that it does not allow them to put themselves in the position of their victim for a moment. To put themselves in the position of their victim. To think, you know, what if somebody did that to me? How would my mother feel about it? How would my brother feel about it? How would my sister, my father feel about it? So filled with rage and jealousy and anger and deceit that they don't realize that it's not just the one person that you're hurting, but you're hurting others also. Here, Shama'un so desperately wanted the affirmation of his father. He wanted to be viewed in the eyes of his father as the best thing that ever walked the earth, that when he plotted against his brother, he never even stopped to think that this is going to hurt the man that I so desire to admire me the most. And so when it comes down to it, it's not that he loved his father so much. It's that he loved himself too much. It wasn't about love for his father, that he wanted to be held in high esteem by his father. It wasn't about love for his father. It wasn't so much that he looked up to his father so much. But his father represented an instrument of praise, and wherever I can find praise, wherever I can find the affirmation that I need, and that's where I'm going to go for it. It's not about the source of affirmation. It's really all about me. Because if he loved his father the way Yahusha loved his father, then he would never even begin to think of doing what he would end up doing. For in the time of my youth I was jealous in many things of Yahusha, because my father loved him beyond all, and I set my mind against him to destroy him, because the prince of deceit set forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded my mind, so that I regarded him not as a brother, nor did I spare even Yahuah, my father. I want to stop here for a moment, and I want to go over now to the book of Bereshit. I want to find out why it is that Yahuah loved Yahusha as much as he did. We often hear that the reason why he loved Yahusha as much as he did was because he was the only son that he got from his wife. His wife, besides Leah, was Rabkayah, right? Would they say Rebecca? He was the only son brought forth through her. And they desperately wanted children together, and it wasn't happening. Right? So we often hear that that's the reason why he loved him so much, and especially because his mother died giving birth. That's why Yahuah loved him so much. But the truth of the matter is, that's not the only reason why. he loved him so much. If it wasn't for some other things about his character, it doesn't matter that his mother died during childbirth. If some other things didn't line up, it could be that Yahuah could have even hated him. But there were some other things about Yahusaf's character that endeared his father to him. You see, there were some other things that endeared his father to him. You know, sadly today, some of those things that endeared Yahusaf's father, Yahuah, to him, some of those things today are shunned upon by our young people. They're shunned on by our young people to show you how foolish we are today. Not just our young people, but even old people. Today, you know, one of the things that endeared, as we're going to see here in a moment, one of the things that caused Yahuah to love Yahusaf the way that he did was because he knew that he could trust him. He knew that he could trust him, that he was going to tell him the truth. He knew that he had a high moral standard. He knew that he was truthful and he wasn't going to lie. Today, if you have those qualities, they call you a snitch. So, to his brothers, Yahusaf was a snitch. That's why they hated him so much. But that's one of the reasons why his father loved him the way that he did. Not because he was a snitch, as they would say, but because he was trustworthy, he was truthful, and he had a moral standard. He was trustworthy, he was truthful, he was caring, he had a moral standard. You see. Now, let's go to the text here in Bereshit, Genesis chapter 37. And Yahuah dwelt in the land of his fathers, sojournings in the land of Canaan. Yahuah dwelt in the land of his fathers, sojournings in the land of Canaan. This is the genealogy of Yahuah. Yahusaf, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. And the young man was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Yahusaf brought an evil report of them to his father, a bad report. They had done something terrible. And he reported it to his father as he should. As he should. This is often overlooked. That one of the reasons why Yahuah loved him so much was because he knew that he could trust him. He brought a bad report to his father concerning his brothers. And watch what it says next in verse 3. And Yashar'al loved Yahusaf more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a long robe. So, combined with the fact that he could be trusted, combined with the fact that Yashar'al knew that Yahusaf was not going to engage in the folly of his brothers, his older brothers. If they were doing foolishness, he wasn't going to get down with it. Yahuah loved that. Yashar'al loved that about his son. Combined with the fact that he was the son of his old age, and combined with the fact that his mother had died giving birth to him, all of those things combined, along with his character, it caused Yahuah to love Yahusaf. Shama'un had a problem with that. Shama'un felt as if he was the one that should be loved, the way Yahusaf was loved. After all, I'm a great achiever. Oh, but don't worry about the fact that I'm a liar. After all, I'm strong. But don't worry about the fact that I'm a murderer. After all, I'm so strong, don't nothing faze me. But don't worry about the fact that I lack compassion. After all, I am fearless. I'll take on a whole army, and I in my strength will defeat them. And then sit on their corpse and have lunch. But don't worry about the fact that I'm callous. And Yahusha loved Yahusha more than all his children because he was the son of his old age and he made him a long robe. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and were not able to speak peaceably to him. Have you ever been in a situation in your family where it is evident that it hurts people when they have to say anything to you? It pains them if they have to congratulate you. It is the hardest thing for them to even see the sight of you. Whenever something goes down, it's always your fault. You're always wrong. Could it be the gift and the favor that has been placed upon you and within you? And Yahusha loved Yahusha more than all his children. See, the gift and the favor of the Father, it will create enemies for you, whether it be in your house, at your job, or even on the street with people you don't know. You know, this happened to me a few times, and I only bring it up because other people have pointed it out. I see it all the time. I live it all the time. But I only bring it up because, again, I've been in situations with other people, and they point it out. I've gone to the supermarket, me and friends, when I was in the church. And we go to pick up stuff to make sandwiches to take out to give to the homeless. And walking in the store, just walking in the store, minding my business. In a matter of just a few minutes, have two people, for no reason, just being mean to me. I'm not in their way. They went out of their way to get in my way and then act like I was in their way. In situations like that, the people I was with said, man, are you a magnet? You know? But it happens to me all the time. It happens to me at the job. I mean, just yesterday, I'm a what they call an IRL, emergency response leader. It's one of my jobs. And we're doing a drill, emergency response drill, and I asked one of our operators to help with carrying out the drill, and just based on the fact that it was me leading the drill, from the door, he decided that, you know what, this ain't gonna go right, and I'm gonna make sure it don't go right. And from the door, he get on his soapbox. But when I see stuff like that, what it reminds me of there is a level of favor that Yahuah has placed on my life. And some people, they see it and they don't like it. But you know what? They can't do nothing about it. And that's not being prideful. That's not being facetious. That's not being anything but just being real. Because I encounter it enough to recognize it, and Yahuah has elevated me enough for me to see that it's Him, it's not me. And even though they do what they do, there's nothing they can do about it. So he says, but when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and were not able to speak peaceably to him. Now, this could be a situation with your earthly father or your earthly parents, but sometimes they're not even near. But the carnal man can also see when our Father, the Most High Yahuah, loves us more than He loved them. And they take issues with you for that also. They see it. You might not immediately recognize it, but they see it. They know that you have more favor than them. And even though you don't deserve the favor, they don't deserve the favor, what's the difference? They feel entitled while you feel thankful. The fact that they feel entitled, Yahuah said you don't deserve, you're not getting it. Not that you deserve it to begin with, but I ain't giving it to you. Because you ain't entitled to nothing. Some people feel quite entitled. And when they feel entitled and they're not getting it and they see somebody else with it, then they have problems. That's where jealousy kicks in. That's where envy kicks in. That's where strife kicks in. That's where lies kicks in. That's where hatred kicks in. That's where they try to tear you down with every opportunity they get. That's where they try to lie on you. Yahusha dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers, so they hated him even more. Now, not only do you, when Yahuah favors you, do you have his favor on your life and you're hated, but to make matters worse, he gives you the ability to dream. He gives you the ability to see your future before it unfolds, and in so doing, allow you now to begin to chart a path toward the unveiling of your future. He gives you the ability to dream. He gives you the ability to dream and then to live the dream. And as they see you living the dream, now the hatred becomes even more. The envy becomes even more. The anger against you becomes even greater. And they can't stand to be in your presence. Won't invite you to nothing because they feel as if you feel as if you're better than them. When you don't feel that way, you never said that, you never expressed that, it never crossed your mind, but in their minds you feel like you're better than them. But it's only Yahuah's favor. They hate the fact that you're a dreamer. They hate the fact that you refuse to continue to stay in the same dilapidated situation and position that they choose to stay in. You decide, you know what, I'm not going to stay this way. Yahuah didn't create me to stay this way. I'm going to work my way out of this. And you know what? Yes, I'm going to work my way out of this. Talk about working my way out of this. You see, Christianity have jacked us up as a people, have bamboozled us for us to think that it's a crime and it's a sin to work our way out of our stuff. When it's the law of Yahuah. Work is the law of Yahuah. You find yourself in something, work your way out of it. But some people begin to hate on you just by the very fact that you say, no, you know what, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to work my way out of this. I work with people who, because I work, they get mad at me. Because I work and they're not working, it's going to reflect badly on them. So they get angry. Hey, why you don't go sit your butt down over there somewhere? So I ain't got to get up and do nothing. That's how people feel. You begin to do something different to change your situation. They get angry. And then as you begin to succeed, they get jealous. They get envious over something they're not willing to do. They want the outcome, but they don't want the process. Yeah, they want the outcome, but they don't want the process. They don't want to put the work in. They just want the outcome. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and were not able to speak peaceably to him. Couldn't even open their mouth and say a nice word. He didn't do anything to them, but yet they could find nothing nice to say about him. The only thing, and the only concern he had was for their good. Whatever he reported to his father was so that his father was able to correct them and that they would be better men, but they couldn't appreciate that. They couldn't even speak a nice word to him. It was painful for them to just say hello. And Yahushua dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers. You know, and that's where we begin. Yahushua didn't know any better at the time when he had the dream and he decided to share it with them. But there will come a point in your life when you realize that not every dream that has been given to you is for you to share with certain people. Let the outcome take them by surprise sometimes, or let them just see it unfolding, but don't even know where it came from. But not everything that Yahuah shows you is for you to run and tell somebody else. Because sometimes who you think is your best friend may very well be your worst enemy. Certainly you're not going to run and tell it to your enemy, the person you perceive to be your enemy, but you're going to want to run and tell it to your friends and family. And sometimes, in some situations, they're the first ones to tear you down. They're the dream killers. They're the dream stealers. They're the first ones to tell you that you ain't gonna be nothing. Look where you came from. You ain't nobody. What make you think you're gonna be any better than we? They're the dream killers. Sometimes when Yahuah gives you something, it ain't for you to run and tell the people you feel that they're the closest to you. As a matter of fact, the people closest to you sometimes can be your worst adversary when it comes to realizing your dream. You know, it is said that when Yahusha went back to the place that he grew up, it said that he was unable to perform many miracles there, many healings there, as he would do in other places. Why? Because they were the people that were closest to him. They were the people that he grew up with. They say that familiarity breed contempt. You know, they saw him grow up barefooted, running around with them. And now here it is declaring something else. As if, you know, in their minds, he's better than them, higher than them, and so they can't receive. They can't receive. They can't embrace it. They don't respect him. And I'll tell you what. You will never be able to embrace what you don't respect. You will never be able to embrace what you don't respect or who you don't respect. If you don't respect a person, you ain't going to be able to truly embrace them. If you don't respect change, you ain't going to be able to truly, if you don't respect change, you ain't going to be able to truly embrace change. If you don't respect success, you ain't going to be able to truly embrace success. If you don't respect Yahuah, you'll never be able to truly embrace Yahuah. You are unable to embrace what you don't respect. When I say embrace, I mean taking him into your bosom, right? Having him, having it, becoming a part of you, a part of your being, a part of your existence. They didn't respect their brother. Therefore, they couldn't embrace him. He could never be a part of their life. He could never be a part of their existence. Yahusha loved Yahusha more than all his children because he was the son of his old age and he made him a long robe. Favor will put a mark on you. Favor will give you a coat. Favor brands you. But the branding is going to come with some heartache. The branding won't always feel good. Yep, favor don't always feel right. But you got to endure. Favor is going to invite hatred. Favor is going to invite malice. Favor is going to invite loneliness. Favor is going to invite sadness. You're going to find yourself sometimes crying to yourself and wondering, what did I do to them? Why is it that they don't like me? Why is it that I can't be down with them? Why is it they don't want to be down with me? Why is it we can't hang together? Why is it we can't just have fun together? Why is it that we can't just be like brothers and sisters? Why can't we just be family? Why can't we just be friends? You know, Rodney King, several years ago, he asked the question, can't we all just get along? You know, the sad answer to that, Rodney, is no. We can't just get along. And it's nothing that you did, Rodney. But what you don't know, Rodney, is that you are a peculiar people. You have the favor of Yahuah on you. And that favor is going to invite hatred for no reason. It's going to invite brutality for no reason. It's going to invite mass incarceration for no reason. It's going to invite lies for no reason. It's going to invite the death penalty for no reason. It's going to invite jail time for no reason. It's going to invite you being shot down in the street for no reason. It's going to invite you being lied on for no reason. It's going to invite you being hated for no reason. It's the favor of Yahuah. Same thing in your house. Same thing among your so-called friends. Smile in your face. The backstabbers. Backstabbers. Right? Yeah. Ones you think's your friend. Ones you think are your family. A smile in your face. But then there'll be the backstabbers. And he said to them, and Yahusha dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers, so they hated him even more. How dare you dream? And not only are you dreaming, but watch the dream. And he said to them, please, brothers, please. Do you find yourself begging for people just to hear you for a second? You just want to share your heart with them. You just want to share your true intent with them. And all you want is for them to just give you a chance to speak for 1 second. But they won't even do that. They hate you so much that they're like little kids. They go blah, 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 blah. Won't even let you get a word out. They just hate you so much. And all you're trying to do is to say, listen, I'm not against you. I'm just trying to work with you. I want the best for you. I want the best for us. That's all I'm trying to say. No, but they won't even give you a chance to speak. His brothers said, he said to them, please listen to this dream. Please, just listen to my dream, please. Will you just listen to my dream, please? Which I have dreamed. See, we were binding sheaves in the midst of the field. And you know, when you are humble, when and where there is humility and favor, the person upon which that favor is bestowed, the person who has that favor, clothed in that favor, and the only reason why you got the favor is because you're humble, and because of that humility and that favor is sometimes you can be kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You can almost be like clueless as to what Yahuah is actually doing. Now, those who are against you clearly see it. They see it from the door. They see it before you open your mouth. But you don't get it. Yahusha didn't get it. So here he goes sharing his dream. Don't even understand the dream, but they understood it. They got it. And it riled them up even more against him. So he says, see, look, we were binding sheaves in the midst of the field, and see, my sheaf rose up and also stood up. And see, your sheaf stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. And he's just clueless, you know. He's just like, wow, what just happened here? And they were saying, yeah, we hear you. Trying to send some secret signal. What do you think this is? Who you think you is? His brothers said to him, they they immediately knew the interpretation. Yep, your adversary can interpret your dream better than you can. Your adversary sees your destination more clearly than you do. That's why he fight against you so much. He sees it better than you do. See, we were binding sheaves in the midst of the field, and see, my sheaf rose up and also stood up, and see, your sheaf stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. His brother said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? And Yahusha must be saying, I didn't say nothing about rain. What are you talking about? Come on, bro. Shall you indeed rule over us? I didn't say anything about ruling over you. Come on, lighten up. So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Now, even though the adversary can see what Yahuah has in store for you better than you can, and you are clueless, Yahuah will use them to reveal what it is that he has in store for you. So Yahusha had this dream, and he was clueless as to what the dream meant. But he went and he talked to his haters, and guess what? His haters gave him some insight. So he didn't leave clueless. Yahuah will use the adversary to reveal his will for your life. So pay attention to your haters as far as what they're doing and saying, because it's revealing Yahuwah's will. They know it, and they're going to say it. They're going to show it. So if you don't know it, watch them and you'll see it, because they know it well. And whatever it is that they're fighting against, whatever it is that they're criticizing, whatever it is that they're hating, that will tell you that this is the will of Yahuah for my life. And he dreamed still another dream. And related it to his brothers and said, see, I have dreamed another dream, and see, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bow down to me. He related it to his father and his brothers. And his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall we, your mother and I, and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you? And his brothers envied him, but his father guarded the word. And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. Now, you see that? As we continue to read this word, what you're going to see is that vision right there. It's literally his future. It's literally what's going to happen in his life. Because they're going to take him, they're going to sell him into bondage, and the day is going to come when his father, when his parents, and his brothers is going to come, and they're going to literally bow down before him. But his brother says, oh, nonsense. Nonsense. He a fool. Who does fool think he is? They set about, and they set out to eliminate the fool, but not realizing that they're only doing Yahuwah's will. You see, having haters in your life is also the will of Yahuwah to bring about his plan for your life. Those haters are there to make you better. Those discouragers are there to make you stronger. Those liars are there to make you an achiever. his brothers envied him, but his father guarded the word. And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Yasharal said to Yahusha, are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I send you to them. So he said to him, here I am. Now, in all honesty, after going through all that he has gone through already with his brothers, I bet that it was not the most pleasant trip. He wasn't looking forward now to going and taking something to them, but you know what? This is what Dad wants. And this is what's good for my family. This is what's good for my brothers, and I'm going to do it. It don't feel good because I know that I'm going to get over there and they're going to ridicule me. They're going to act like they don't want to be bothered with me. They're going to act like they don't want to be around me. They're going to act like they don't want to talk to me. It's not the most pleasant journey that I'm about to take, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway because it's what Father wants. Yep. Sometimes Yahuah will send you on a journey, and you know the destination that you're traveling to. It is not the most pleasant encounter you're going to have. But you got to say, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway because this is what Dad wants. This is what my Father wants. Now, what Father knows and what you don't know is that that unpleasant journey is what's going to launch you into your destiny. You see. Yes, indeed. They even understood the second recruit. They even understood the second. But you know what's amazing about the enemy and the adversary? Because he's so full of himself and so against you, he understands the dream. He understands the dream. He understands what's being said in the dream. But his hatred and his malice and his envy does not cause him to see that now his action in response to the in response to your dream is what's going to propel you into the fulfillment of your dream. You don't realize, you don't understand because he's so blinded by his jealousy, so blinded by his envy, so blinded by his rage that he don't realize that the very things that those things are going to drive him to do is what is going to propel you into the fulfillment of this prophecy. He understands the dream. But his rage don't allow him to understand the pathway to the fulfillment. Because the way that the dream is fulfilled, the way Yahuah fulfilled the dream is by driving through the enemy. The path to the fulfillment of your dream, the path to your success is to go straight through the enemy, is to go straight through the fire, not to go around it, not to fly over it, but to go through it. Yahuah didn't tell us that he will deliver us from trouble. He tells us that he will deliver us in trouble. Why would he deliver you from trouble? Because if he's delivering you from it, it means that you never got in trouble. And if you ain't get in there, then whatever it is that, well, the only reason why you got in there is because there was something that you did, and now you got to be corrected. And so you get in there, you get your lesson, and then he deliver you out of it. Now, if you did everything right where you didn't have to get in there, you wouldn't, everything's all right. But Yahusha was young, and he too had some lessons to learn. So even though he had the right kind of characteristics and all of that, Yahuah knows that, okay, there are some things, some lessons that you'll have to learn to make you into the man, the son that I intend for you to be. And so I'm going to use your adversary to brush you up, to perfect you, to make you right. To smooth you down. A certain man found him. Oh, jump ahead here. His brothers, so he went and he took this trip that knowing his heart he didn't want to take, but he said, Father wants it, so I'm going to do it. Okay? And so verse 14, and he said to him, please go and see if it is well with your brothers and with the sheep, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now that was the easy part for Yahusha. Not necessarily looking forward for the trip, but for the purpose, yeah, I'll do that because I'm concerned. I really want my brothers to be okay. I want to know that they're okay, and I want Dad to know that they're okay. I love my daddy, and I don't want to see him hurting because something happened to one of them. And so he was motivated for the trip. He was motivated for the trip. And so he went to at another mass shooting, it seemed as if in Florida, yoga studio in Florida. He was motivated for the trip. He said to him, please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the sheep, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. He went to Shechem. You know what? Bear with me here 1 second. Let me see. What verse was that? What verse was that? Shechem. I forget what the meaning of Shechem is. Verse 14. Let me see something. Let me see something. The definition of that place. Computer's acting slow. Bear with me here for a second, family. Turn up the volume. Sorry about that. Let me try to do that. I'm looking at YouTube. Can everyone else hear me clearly on YouTube? If you can, if you could just put something up there for me. I want to say shalom to my Akid el Yahuah. Computer is acting slow here. 1 second. Let me get back to this. Come on. Bear with me here, please, family. I'm having trouble loading what I'm trying to load. Lost my page. Okay, I gotta go back. Let me see. Having trouble loading the page. Okay, that's not working. Let me close this out real quick and try it again. Bear with me here just for a second. Really having trouble loading the page here. I don't have anything on. Y'all have anything on up there? No. Wow. I wanted to I forget what the definition of Shechem is. Wanted to look at it very quickly, but my page refuses to reload. Just bear with me. I'm going to try to get this. Hoping that I still have a connection. Yeah, I see a key. Oh wow, you're joining us from Iowa. Shalom, shalom, and welcome, Aki. Oh, this is loading really slow here, really slow. Really slow. Won't even load for me. Won't even load. Alright. Well, I'm going to have to go to the printed text here because I can't even pull the page back up. So I'm going to go to the printed text and I'll continue to read from the printed text. We're in Bereshit chapter 37. If someone is able to, if you could go to Bereshit chapter 37 and if you could just post for me again the definition of Shechem. They say Shechem. If you could post it for me, if you can get it, that'd be great. Oh, a key. Wow, wow. Okay, awesome to know, Aki. Premiering record beginning with Yahuah's promise of the land of Abraham. Later, Yaakov would return here with his family. Yeah, that's, I want to find the actual definition. Shoulder. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a word that I'd have to go back to and dig into it some more. I'd like to dig into it some more. But for now, I'm gonna move on. But I believe the place plays an important part, an important role in the message. Okay. Alright, so again, let me go back to Bereshit, Genesis chapter 37, and I can't put it on the screen because it won't load. I can't get it to load, so I apologize for that. Internet seemed to be acting up. I'm just going to read, and you can follow along, and if you have it on your screen, on your own screen or whatever. So 37 and verse 14, so she removed, oh wait. And he said to him, Go now and see about the welfare of your brothers and the welfare of the flock, and bring word back to me. So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. A man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, What are you looking for? He said, I am looking for my brothers. Please tell me where they are, pasturing the flock. Then the man said, They have moved from here, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dathan. So Yahusha went after his brothers and found them at Dathan. When they saw him from a distance, and before he came close to them, they plotted against him to put him to death. They said, Here's our opportunity. Yep. Your dream killers, they're always looking for an opportunity to kill your dream, right? They said to one another, Here comes this dreamer. That's one of their problems with him. He's a dreamer. He has vision. You know, there are people who will have a problem with you just because you are an optimistic individual. Some people just like to be miserable, you know, and they're miserable comforters. They like to dwell in misery. They only like to see chaos and sorrow. They thrive on that, even though they're miserable in it. So they say, Here comes the dreamer. Here comes the optimistic one. Here comes the positive one. I don't know what there is to be so positive about. I don't know what there is to be so optimistic about. I don't know what there is to be so dreamful about. You see. And they say, Here comes the dreamer. Time to kill the dream. In verse 19, they said to one another, Here comes this dreamer. Now then, come and let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits, and we will say a wild beast devoured him. Then let us see what will become of his dreams. Cold-blooded, cold-hearted, wicked. But Rehoboam heard this. Reuben, aka Reuben, heard this and rescued him out of their hands and said, Let us not take his life. Now, what we learn from the book of the 12 patriarchs is that the mastermind behind the plot was Shama'un. Most likely he was the one that said, Let's kill him. Let's kill the dream. Solve our problems. That wouldn't have solved their problems. But let's kill the dream. Rehoboam, he got up and he said, No, we don't have to go that far. I tell you, your haters too, they're very resourceful. They can come up with a plot against you real quick. They can frame a lie against you real quick. They can frame a conspiracy against you real quick. They can twist your words very quickly. You're saying one thing, and before you know it, they twist it up and make it seem like you're saying something totally different. You're calling for justice. They're declaring that you're a terrorist. Oh, he says he's going to blow up the place. You know. Now, Tadaaki, got your message? Okay. Shoulder. As and Yahuah had pointed that out too. Shakam meaning shoulder. Now, family, while you're at it, could you look up the definition for what they call Dothan for me, or Dathan? They spell it Dothan. It's found in verse I think verse 18. Verse 17 has it, and probably verse 18. Okay. Alright, so they said to one another, "Here comes this dreamer. Now then, come and let us kill him and throw him," this is verse 20 now, "let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits, and we will say a wild beast devoured him. Then let us see what will become of his dreams." But Rehoboam heard this and said, "Let us not take his life." Rehoboam further said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit, that is in the wilderness, but do not lay hands on him, that he might rescue him out of their hands, to restore him to his father." So Rehoboam, the place of two wells, to the Akut, the place of two wells. So what they did was they threw him in one of the wells, is what they did. Right? Now, and I'd like to go back and reflect on this some more as far as shoulder and the wells, because these places are important to the message being conveyed. Okay? So the dreamer is tossed into a well. You know, family, sometimes, even as I ponder this, sometimes we find ourselves in places, right? We find ourselves in places, and our interpretation of the place that we find ourselves in, it might be an interpretation of despair. We might see the place that we're in as a place of despair, when in reality it may very well be a place of resource. Or Yahuah has you in that place, and what surrounds you, all you have to do is take a look at the place. See what the place tells you. What does it represent? What does it symbolize? And so the dreamer is tossed into a well. What is a well? He's tossed into a dry well, right? But what does the well represent? Because you see, on one hand, he has people plotting against him to take his life. But Yahuah have somebody stand up and say, "You know what? No, don't take his life." Yeah, ask your mom. Don't take his life. Let's throw him in this well over here. That was Yahuah's doing. It was Yahuah that changed their minds. Throw him in this well over here. So when you find yourself put in a place, no matter how dry the place may seem, it is important to ponder the purpose of the place. What's the purpose of the place? What's the purpose of the place that I'm in? What was it created for? A well represents life. A well represents supply. Right? A well represents wealth. It represents storage. It represents resource and source. That's right. And so even though he was in this dark place, Yahuah was saying to him that I have you in a place of preservation. I have you in a place of source. I have you in a place of resource. My plan for you is restoration. My plan for you is life. My plan for you is resource. My plan for you is provision. Yes, you're in this dry well right now, but what does the well represent? It represents provision. So you might be in a dark place right now, but get the message. I'm gonna make you a provider to your enemy. And that's precisely what happened, right? The place that he finds himself in is indicative or representative of what the outcome of his life would represent. Because he was thrown into a well, and then he was taken into Matzrayim, and there he became a source of resource for his people. There he became life-giving supply for his people. There his people were able to stand on his shoulders, were able to be lifted up on his shoulders. He became their foundation in Matzrayim. Yes. Okay, ask your mom, I'm busy. Okay? He became their foundation. He became their resource in Matzrayim. Yahuah used him to preserve their life in Matzrayim. So it came about in verse 23, when Yahusha reached his brothers, that they stripped Yahusha of his tunic, the very colored tunic that was on him, the cloak, the coat, the cover, the kanaf. That's really what it was. And they took him and threw him into the pit. Now the pit was empty, without any water in it. Then they sat down to eat a meal. Threw him in the well, right? But the well was empty. Yes, indeed. All things work together. And we know that in all things, Elohim work for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. You know what the key is right there? You got to know. And we know. Do you know that all things, and we know that in all things, Elohim work for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. And we know. You got to know it. You see, if you don't know it, if you don't know it, if you don't know it, if you're not convinced in it, then doubt is going to step in. And doubt is going to destroy the dream. You see, doubt too is a dream killer. Yahuah has put dreams in many of his people's hearts, but they allow doubt to come in and kill the dream. You got to know, and we know that in all things, you see, and we know, you got to know it. Toda for posting Mashpaka. And we know that in all things, no matter what it looks like, even when you find yourself at the bottom of a dry well, when you find yourself being lied on, when you find yourself being hated, when you find you being ridiculed, when you find you being left out, when you find you being looked down on, and we know that in all things, Elohim works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. Do not allow doubt to come in and to kill your dream. You know, doubt is such that it could literally take a person's life. You know that doubt is that powerful, that it could literally take a person's life. Doubt has caused people finding themselves in desperate situations to give up and literally die. Whereas, if they had hoped and if they had believed, they would have survived until rescue arrived. But doubt can be a powerful force if you allow it to be. You gotta know. And we know. And we know that in all things, Elohim work for the good of those who love him. You see, don't allow doubt and doubters to kill your dreams. Don't do it. Don't allow it. And sometimes in order to do that, in order not to allow it, sometimes you got to get away from doubt and doubters. You got to shut them out. Refuse to hear them, refuse to hear it. You see, Allahu Yahuah, surely Yahuah is my salvation. I will trust and I'm not afraid. He is my strength and defense. He has become my salvation. Allahu Yah, Allahu Yahuah. Now, family, I want to get back over to the writings here of Shama'un, but let me just read a little bit more here real quick. Okay? So they stripped him, took his kanaf, and they took him and threw him into the pit. Now the pit was empty without any water in it. Then they sat down to eat a meal. So wicked they are. Sat down to eat a meal. And as they raised their eyes and looked, behold, a caravan of people of Ashma'al was coming from Gilead, and their camels bearing aromatic gum and balm and myrrh on their way to bring them down to Matzrayim. So they're traders, right? Yahudah said to his brothers, "What profit is it for us to kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come and let us sell him to the people of Ashma'al and not lay our hands on him, for he is our brother, our own flesh." And his brothers listened to him. You know what's crazy? Jealousy and envy, if you allow it to fester and to grow, it can become thicker than blood. You know, they say blood is thicker than water. Well, jealousy and envy, if you allow it to fester and to grow, it can manifest into something that is thicker than blood. And what I'm saying is, you see it all the time. Just the other day in the news, I see 2 different instances in the news where sons kill their parents. I mean, it happens all the time. It's some kind of envy, some kind of jealousy that festers into this level of hatred that could cause them to go and to kill their parents and not think anything about it. Kill parents, hide the bodies, act like nothing happened. That's your parent, right? Your siblings. So it says, then some from Madian, some traders from Madian passed by, so they pulled him up and lifted Yahusha out of the pit and sold him to Ashma'al for 20 shekels of silver. Now it's important to note here too that, I don't know about you, but all the time when I'm in church and pastors preach from this text, they always say that his brothers sold him into bondage. But that's not really a correct representation of what happened. His brothers put him in a pit, but they didn't sell him into bondage. They made no money off of the evil that they committed against their brother. Even though I'm sure they wouldn't have mind. No, but they didn't. They didn't make the money. It wasn't them that sold him. It was their cousins. It was people from Madian. It was traders from Midian, as they call it. The Midianites that actually sold him to the Ashmalites. Midian or Madian would be cousins to Yashar-al. And they sold their cousin to the Hamites. They didn't put him in the pit. Now, the brothers did say, let us sell him, but in the end, for some reason, it was Madian that carried out the transaction. Why? I don't know how it went from them to them, but it was Madian that pulled him out and then sold him to Ashma'al. And some Midianite traders passed by, so they pulled him up and lifted Yahusha out of the pit, sold him to Ashma'al for 20 shekels of silver. Thus they brought Yahusha into Mitzrayim. Now Rahaban returned to the pit, and behold, Yahusha was not in the pit. So Reuben returned, and he was not there. Right? Okay? His brother returned, but he wasn't in the pit. So obviously his brothers had left. Even though they said, let's sell him, for some reason they left. Madian came and saw him and said, you know what, we'll sell him. You see? Rahaban returned and he wasn't in the pit. He returned to his brothers and said, so he goes back to his brothers. You see? It wasn't them that sold him. It was their cousins, the Madianites, or the people of Madian, that sold him. They weren't even present when he was sold. They made no money from it. Okay? So the boy's not there, he said to his brothers. As for me, where am I going to go? So they took Yahusha's tunic and slaughtered a male goat and dipped the tunic, dipped his kanaf in the blood, and they sent the bloodied tunic and brought it to their father and said, "We found this. Please examine it to see whether it's your son's tunic or not." And he examined it and said, "It is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him." All right. I'm going to go back now to the book of the 12 patriarchs. And I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. So he says now, we were at verse 8. So him speaking to his sons, he said, "And I set my mind against him to destroy him, because the prince of deceit set forth the spirit of jealousy and blinded my mind, so that I regarded him not as a brother, nor did I spare even Yahuah my father. But his Elohim and the Elohim of his father sent forth his messenger and delivered him out of my hands." So when I sent to Shechem to bring ointment for the flocks, and Rehoboam to Dathan, where were our necessaries and all our stores, Yahudah my brother sold him to Ashmael. Now, what it says here. So it says here that Yahudah was involved in the trade, but the rest of them wasn't. And when Rehoboam heard these things, he was grieved, for he wished to restore him to his father. But on hearing this, I was exceedingly wroth against Yahudah, in that he let him go away alive. And for 5 months I continued wrathful against him. So Rehoboam said that he was angry that they allowed him to escape alive. But Yahuah restrained me and withheld from me the power of my hands, for my right hand was half withered for 7 days. And I knew, my children, I forgot that detail, that it did say that Yahudah made a trade, but all of them wasn't present. And I knew, my children, that because of Yahusha this had befallen me. And I repented and wept, and I besought Yahuah Elohim that my hand might be restored, and that I might hold aloof, hold high from all pollution and envy, and from all folly. For I knew that I had devised an evil thing before Yahuah and Yahuah my father, on account of Yahusha my brother, in that I envied him. And now, my children, hearken unto me, and beware of the spirit of deceit and envy. For envy rules over the whole mind of man, and suffers him neither to eat nor to drink. It consumes you. Envy will consume you if you give it a little bit of foothold, is what he's saying. Nor to do any good thing. But it is ever suggested to him to destroy him that he envieth. And so long as he that is envied flourishes, he that envieth fades away. You see, when you envy, if you're living with envy, as long as the person that you envy continue to flourish, you continue to be tortured. You continue to fade away. So envy, while it is trying to get you to destroy your brother, your sister, your neighbor, in reality, it is actually destroying you. 2 years therefore I afflicted my soul with fasting in the fear of Yahuah, and learned that deliverance from envy comes by the fear of Elohim. For if a man flee to Yahuah, the evil spirit runs away from him, and his mind is lightened. And henceforward he has sympathy with him whom he envied, and forgives those who are hostile to him, and so cease from his envy. Well, family, we're going to stop here for today. As I think about this, I think about Dawood in the book of Tahalim, where he says, talking about the best friend can be your worst enemy, and your worst enemy can in an odd way be your best friend. Dawood said, talking about his family, his very own son, who had taken his wives and was in pursuit of his life to kill him. Dawood in Tahalim, I believe 55, somewhere there, he said that when his son was trying to take him out, he said, if I had wings, oh, if I had wings like a dove, like a bird, I'd fly away and be at rest. To live with the knowledge that those closest to you can be against you can be a devastating thing. It can be a burdensome thing. But ultimately, what we've got to understand is Yahuah's purpose in the midst of it all. Understand that Yahuah's favor. As long as we continue to seek Yahuah and to draw close to him, eventually we will win. Because all things do work together for the good of those that love him. And we know this. And those who are called according to his purpose. I'm going to stop here for today, Mashpaka. Yahuah willing, we'll pick up in chapter 2 the next time we come together. It is my hope, nonetheless, that our study today has been a barakah to you. And I'm going to open up the mic. I don't know if there are any comments or questions from our family, but I'd like to open up the mic. Let me go to my Aki Damon. Please go ahead, Aki.
Hello, Yahuah.
Hello.
Praise Yahuah.
Praise Yahuah.
Hello,
Aki.
praise Yahuah. Two things I wanted to hit on. Great lesson, hit on a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things you said I could, spoke on, but I was only able to jot down two things. And one thing is to encourage you, Aki. And one thing I've always felt the same. Seen a post on Facebook that said the reason why this spirit don't agree with other spirits, or people don't like you because it's your spirit that conflicts with theirs.
Yeah.
And so the things that you said, it makes plenty of sense. When you talked about you having problems with people at work and so on and so forth, and so it's just confirmation. It's just amazing how things are confirmed through Yahuah, how Yahuah confirms things. Another thing, your adversaries do speak to you. What I mean by that is Yahuah uses your adversary to speak to you, and it will reveal things. And he is actually speaking because they reveal their actions, the way they talk to you, the way they, whether it be family, friends, loved ones, whatever.
Indeed.
It's a thing, it's a saying that it says people will tell you who they are. You just got to pay attention.
Yes.
And Yahuah does speak, and it's strange, but you gave me shivers when you said that, how Yahuah will reveal him themselves, the adversary will reveal themselves to you, because the things that they speak, the things that they say, how they behave, and things of that nature. So it was definitely a barakah. This definitely was a barakah. Came in a little late, but I got a lot of good meat. And I love you, Mashmakai, and I love you, Key. I love you, Akul Kim, your Mashmakai, your family, your Key. And
We love
shalom.
We love and appreciate you too, Aki. Praise Yahuah. All right, let me go to, let's see who else we have, if there's anyone else before we close out. Just checking. All right. Well, family, if there's no one else, we're going to prepare to close out. I want to invite I want to invite you also, family, to check out a live broadcast that I'll be doing tomorrow. Again, I said this the last time we were together. Was introduced to an opportunity by Amaya Kut Yaraya, and I'm very thankful to her that she did. Um, She took the time to consider me and to introduce me to this business opportunity, and I've been pursuing it. I've been working it, and I'm glad to say that Akut Joan has joined our team. I want to congratulate Akut Joan on that. But tomorrow evening at around 4:30, Yahuah willing, at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, plan on doing a live broadcast on Facebook, kind of talking about the business, the benefits of it. I believe that it can transform. It is transforming people's lives, both health-wise and financially. And so I intend to, again, I know that people are skeptical because you have so many people out there selling all kinds of promises. We're not selling anything, quite frankly, as far as a promise. We sell a product, but we ain't selling you no promise. And we're not, certainly not selling you a pipe dream. Um, but it is an opportunity that I believe can benefit the lives of our people. I absolutely believe in the product. It's helping me, and it's helping a whole lot of people out there. And so, if you'd like to join the live broadcast to listen to some of what we have to say about it, and listen, I haven't asked Akut Yaraya yet. I've been meaning to ask her, but I've been also a little bit busy and I haven't gotten a chance to ask her. Maybe I should ask her now if she could join me for this live broadcast. I'm going to do it via Zoom using video. Hopefully it won't be distorted. But tomorrow evening at 4, Facebook, and 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, Facebook and YouTube. The gentleman that sponsored that introduced Akut Yaraya, I sent him a message a little bit earlier. I got to finish responding to him because by the time I saw his message out, it was time to get on. But I believe he will be joining me live, and so just want to present the opportunity to as many of our people as possible, because as I say, I know it can change our lives. Okay. There are a whole lot of people in that business making a whole lot of money, and it's changing their life, and I believe and know that it can change our lives also. Okay, so from a financial perspective, from a health perspective, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let me go to the board here. There are some things on the board, and there are some hands raised. So let me look at the board real quick. Let's see. Bernice, my mom said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me see. Aki. Okay. Aki, I can't get with the Spanish. I don't know it. I'm going to let you come to the mic here, Aki. Please, Aki, I think your hand was raised. Where are you at? Aki, you want to come to the mic, Aki? I'm going to unmute you. Aki Azar-Yahu.
Oh, shalom, shalom.
Hey.
I'm sorry, I did write it in Spanish, but then I posted back in English.
Oh, okay.
How you doing? How's the family?
Everybody good, man. Good to hear you.
Good to hear you. Good to hear you too.
Yeah,
my question basically was, if you have any idea who was the Malak who fight Jacob when he was on his way to his brother, if you know if it was like the one they call Mastama, or it was a good Elohim, or is the bad Elohim, who was it? Do you have any idea on that?
Yeah. I'd have to revisit the writings. I don't recall. I really don't recall right now, Aki. I'll have to revisit.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Father, keep barracking on your studies and all what you teach. All right.
To that.
Shabbat shalom to everybody. That's to that today.
Yeah, man. Shalom to you, Aki. Shalom, and the same to you. All right. Let's see. Oh, praise Yahuah, Ki Yaram Yahu. They were able to order the oil through a Kut Yarayah. Praise Yahuah. I'll tell you this very quickly that since using the oil, here lately, for the past few years, I've had in the summertime and in the wintertime. In the wintertime, it's worse than in the summertime, but I've had some psoriasis, breaking out on my skin in some areas, and I started using the oil, and I've used the topical rub, and it's really working wonders. I mean, when I tell you it really is working wonders, it is, and no exaggeration, and I mentioned in a video that I posted to Facebook, I was diagnosed. I've been struggling with my nails just changing for the past maybe 3 years. This started, and so finally I decided to go to the doctors last year, about 6 months ago, and or this year, probably about 6 months ago or so, or maybe a little bit longer, and they diagnosed me with what they call psoriasis of the nails. Never knew that there was something called psoriasis of the nails, but diagnosed me with that. Gave me two options. I could use this ointment, basically a chemical, to put on it on the nail and see what it does, or I could take an injection that may or may not heal the problem. But the injection, if I took the injection, then it would dramatically impact my immune system, break it down, and it would compromise my immune system, and I could get seriously sick as a result. So I said, well, that wasn't a part of the option, and I decided, well, I guess I'll have to live with this. I did start trying their topical oil thing that they gave me, but that wasn't helping, so I stopped using it. Well, started using the CBD oil. Not only do I ingest it, but I put some on my nails, and my nails are noticeably changing. One of the things that this thing does, psoriasis of the nails, is it eventually stops the nails from growing, and so they begin to recede. They lift, separate from the nail bed, and before you know it, you don't have any nails left. So a couple of my nails had gotten to the point where they had just stopped growing. They lifted, there was no more nails there, just the nail bed, and the nail bed looks, I don't know how to describe it, but callousy. But I started taking it and using it on my nails, and now one of those, well, both of them begin growing again. One of them was really, really bad. The cuticle had totally lifted, like you could see under the cuticle. Now it's reattaching itself to the bed, and while the other one has started growing, and the nail is growing out smoothly. So it's just amazing what it does. Cannabis CBD oil, it is known for a whole lot of things, and I've shared a lot of information on Facebook about it over time. Continue to do so, but I encourage you to look into it. It's something that was created for our bodies, that they have kept from us, but it's highly beneficial, so I encourage you to look into it. That's what we sell in the business, and the beauty about it is you have the option of just being a drop shipper, or if you want to buy the product and take it to like a flea market kind of thing, set up a table, you can do that too. I heard it sells really well there. But in some cases, you don't even have to touch it. You just drop ship, and you make a commission from the sales. And people are making thousands, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, and even millions. But you get what you put into it, right? So I'd like to introduce the family to it if you're interested. I'm not here to twist anybody's arm or trying to persuade anybody beyond their willingness. But I'd just like to present the opportunity to. So tomorrow evening, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, I have a live event planned. It'll be live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and I'm hoping that Akut Yahuah will be able to join me. Key Darrow, who is the person that introduced her to the business, he has committed to joining me for the broadcast. So hopefully you'll get to meet him. Akut Yahuah is already making money in the business. I already have, I haven't gotten a check yet, but I'm storing up the way it works. When you see the business plan, if you're interested, you'll understand how it works. But I have a bank account building until I can collect on that. I have to meet certain requirements in order to collect. Okay, but I do have an account building where I'll be paid eventually. It's not a matter of if I'll be paid, it's when I'll be paid. So, praise Yahuah Akut. Praise Yahuah. So we'll do a live video stream, okay? And Yahuah willing, if you're able to join us, that'd be great. Anyway, let me get off of that. Am I missing anything or anyone on the screen? Akulina said, can you message me on Messenger the way I can order from you in Canada? Yeah, you know what, Akut? I'm glad you brought that up again. So I looked into it. Unfortunately, what Canada has done currently, it's not allowing any companies outside of Canada to ship into Canada because it's trying to protect its market. It's trying to protect the companies there in Canada. Our lawyers are working on breaking through that, but for now, unfortunately, we can't ship, so you wouldn't be able to order. It would be, your order wouldn't be allowed to go through, customs. So yes, Akut, will do. The beauty about our product is that it is one of the purest CBD oils on the market. It's grown here in the U.S. under strict supervision, and the process also contributes to its high purity. Yes, you can get the nutritional sprays, as Akut Yahuah just mentioned, because we do sell, I believe, about 5 different sprays. Brain spray for alertness, mental acuity, or whatever you would say it. We have, and these are all made from natural fruits. Okay, we have a trim spray for weight loss. We have a peak spray for energy and vitality. We have a what's the other spray that we have, Akut? Sleep spray to assist with sleep. But talking about sleep, one thing I'll tell you, taking the CBD oil, usually it's hard for me to go to sleep at night. I tend to be a night person. I'll stay up late and don't want to wake up early, right? But taking the CBD oil, I lay my head on the pillow, and it seems as if the way it's been for me lately, within a minute of laying down, I'm asleep. I really am. And if you allow yourself enough time for sleep, when you wake up, you feel rested. When I take it, if I lay down late, and I have to get up in 3 or 4 hours, because unfortunately sometimes that's all the sleep I get. when I wake up with just 3 or 4 hours sleep, it makes it hard. It's hard, because your body haven't gotten enough rest. But it really allows you to sleep, and if you get your full sleep, you really wake up feeling refreshed, feeling well rested. And so CBD oil, that's one other thing that I can say about it. I take Aki, I recommend that you start off on a kind of a low dose and work your way up, maybe 5 drops, and that's not just my recommendation, but based on other people's responses, how they respond to it. I recommend that, but maybe start on 5 drops and then work your way up. What I do is I take a half a drop. I fill the thing halfway, and I take that twice a day. And you got to know how it responds. Watch how your body respond to it too, because you might find that, okay, I got some stuff to do here in the daytime, and when I take this, it make me feel a little sleepy, a little drowsy, so I can't take it in the daytime. I'm just gonna have to take it when I know that I don't have anything to do, or I'm getting ready to go to bed. So watch how your body responds to it, and that will determine how you use it. Okay, Aki, great. And if you watch, and if you can also, you can increase the dosage. You can increase it, but again, watch how your body responds to it. All right, so we'll talk more about it tomorrow, family. And again, I'm excited that Akut Yaria, on very short notice, it decided she would join in tomorrow evening, Yahuah willing. So once again, I want to say Toda Rabba Akut. Akut Yaria introduced me, and I decided to do the business for 2 reasons. One, I know the power of CBD, and 2, because it was Akut Yaraya that recommended it. So I'm excited about it. All right. Well, those aren't the only 2 reasons. Seeing the business plan and the commission package and all of that certainly helped to persuade me, but the greatest influences for me was first and foremost knowing the effectiveness of the product and the person that introduced me. So with that, if there's no one else with any comments, questions for today, we're gonna close out. And Yahuah willing, look forward to seeing you all soon. Tomorrow evening, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, for those who would like to hear more about our products and the business. All right. Well, family.
Sorry, you said tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow evening at 4:30 Eastern, Aki.
Okay, cool. Okay.
All right. Yes. All right. Well. Oh, the time changes. We're still going to make it 4:30, but remember the time change. Okay? So we're falling backwards tomorrow. We're falling backwards an hour. So there is a time change.
Okay.
Yes, Aku?
Shalom, everyone. So this question is for you, Aki or Akut Yeria.
Okay.
Now the CBD sprays. Can you use them all back to back to back, or do you have to use one, then wait an hour, spray another, then wait, or can you use them,
Right.
back to back?
Yeah, I use them. No, there is nothing that says you can't use them that I've found, but I use them and I put a little distance between them. Because literally, when you use when I use the brain spray and I also use that peak spray, I literally feel it almost immediately. You feel a heightened sense of alertness almost immediately, but I don't want to overdo it, so I'll give a little space in between usage. But the sprays do not have CBD. They're natural superfoods that make them, but they don't have CBD. The sprays don't have CBD. But I use the spray and the oil together, but I don't use the sprays all at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I have some spray. I guess I'll be buying from you. Well, I already bought some from a Kuyera,
Well,
y'all, because she started
yeah,
first. So I'll
well,
be.
no, you
But
can continue. No, continue to support Akut Yariya Akut.
I probably would support both.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I have some sprays, and I was like, okay, I just sprayed this one. Should I spray the other one, or should I wait?
Uh-huh.
So I was kind of, and then I have some oil.
Okay.
So the next time I'm gonna get the 750, right? Because I have the 500 right now.
Yeah, 750. Yeah.
But I heard you saying that the 750 was uh uh
The
oh,
cost?
not the cost.
Okay.
You said it's not stronger, but what is it? The 750 is
Yeah, it's more potent, so it is more strength, more has a higher potency of CBD in it.
yes. So that I'll be getting that one next. I just want to see what these things are going to do for me because I may come aboard too, but I want to see how it's working.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree, and that's the way I felt also. And and then if you see where it's working for you, the way the business is, if you're going to be using the product, you might as well just do the business because the business really costs nothing other than you have a monthly order of product for your personal use, or even if you want to sell it to somebody else. But if you're going to be using the product on a regular basis, you might as well do the business because now you're getting two benefits. It's almost like you're getting the product for free and you're making money doing the business. So it's just the way it works.
And that makes so much sense too.
Yes,
Now,
certainly.
let me ask one more question, Nikki.
Hmm.
So, because the one I have doesn't have, and I always get this wrong, is it THC or TCH in it?
THC. THC.
THC. Okay. So it doesn't have that. But what's the benefit? Why would someone want to get the one with the THC in it?
Yes. So
And I don't know if we even allowed to do it. Are we even allowed to do that as, you know,
well,
the,
if you're not on a job, if you're not going to a job where they're going to drug test you, because currently THC is still on the list of banned substances, even though it shouldn't be, unless you have a doctor's prescription for it. But the benefit of THC combined with TBC, it's all a part of the cannabis plant, but THC helps to activate or to enhance CBD. And so, for example, there are some cancers that cannabis kills, but if you don't have the THC component combined with the CBD, cannabis has over 80, probably about 85 different components in it. Um, different components, probably the best way I can say it. CBD and THC, they're just two of those components. Um, all of those components combined, they work very effectively against various diseases, and so when you have the THC in it, it actually it works more efficient. It works better. But the THC is also that component that gives people that that high feeling, like um, and it's not it's not a chemical high feeling, but nonetheless, it gives you that feeling of you know, lightness, whatever, however way you put it. But it is more effective with THC, especially against certain different diseases and conditions. The CBD itself is still very effective when it comes to inflammatory diseases and don't remember all of the different titles now, and neurological diseases. CBD itself, even without the THC, proves to be quite effective. So, but THC, the plant in its fullness, naturally as it was created, works the greatest against everything. You know, against everything.
Wow. Okay. But are we allowed to even take, when I say we, I mean us in the truth, are we allowed to use that with the one that'll get you high? Because I don't know, I'm scared to feel kind of like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
right. So you know, Akut, really, you can use the oil with THC in it and still not be at a point where you feel stupid high. Like you will notice either it make you sleepy or drowsy or something, but not you can use it in a way that you're not acting silly, laughing out of your mind, and you know, when you see people use it to that degree, oftentimes it's out of abuse. You see, and not so much that they're using it for medicinal purposes. So it's if people they try to get high, they use it to get high just for to gratify the flesh, the lust of the flesh, then so to speak. But you can certainly use the medicine with THC in it in an effective way where you're not high out of your mind, you know, talking foolishness and giggling too much and so on. You know?
So, Aki,
Yes, Aku.
shalom everyone. And not to belabor the point, but the original product has a trace amount of THC, which is allowable by law through the 2014 Farm Bill Act. So it's like 0.3%. So you will not get high from it, but in people who are working, and I don't know because I don't use the one with the THC, it may or may not be detected in a urine sample if you are tested. So that's just the thing, but you won't get high from it. But it does, like Aki Michael said, enhance the CBD in it. And that was the original product. So, yeah. And there's a question about the CBD we have is a full spectrum. It's not an isolate. So there are isolates out there which just have CBD only, but we use the entire plant. So it has some CBN or CBC and some of the other components that Aki Michael was talking about. So I just wanted to share that. Tuda.
To the Aku.
Okay. Well, I might get that next.
Yes.
All right. Tuda Rabah.
Indeed. You know, Kuyaria notified me the other day that Aki, I think you ordered the wrong oil. I think you ordered the one with THC. You know, you should call and switch it. You know, because of my work, they could at any time ask me for send me for a test, a drug test. I haven't called yet because, quite frankly, quite honestly, I don't want to. I don't want to return it. I want the full benefits of the plant. Now, I know there's a risk there, but you know, I'm just sick of the hypocrisy. You know, and I'm not. And the reason why I don't want to return it's not that I want to get high. It's not going to get me high. Like Yahuah says, the amount of THC in it is 0.03 milligram or whatever the measurement is. Certainly not going to get you high, but it's an added benefit to what you know. It enhances what it does. And so, yeah, I still have a bottle here that I haven't taken out the package. I do need to call and return it, but at the same time, I really don't want to return it, you know. So, um, um, yeah, that's where it's at. But we'll talk more about it tomorrow, family. Bring your questions, whatever questions you have, bring them. And with Akut Yariya's help and Akid Darrow, hopefully we can get some of your questions answered and, you know, really discover the full benefit of this opportunity. Well, family, love you, appreciate you, always. And truly, may Yahuah continue to barak you. May he continue to strengthen you. May he continue to lead you. May his great name always be upon you. We're going to prepare to close out. Appreciate you too, my Akut Lena. Alright. Okay, so I'll be putting I've already posted it as a matter of fact, but you're not on Facebook, right, Aki? It's going to be a different meeting number. I've already posted a link to Facebook, but let me see if I can get that information right now and share it with you before we hang up. Let's see, how can I do this? I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Bear with me here. Trying to figure out how I find that information while the room is open, because I got to go to my meetings, like planned meetings, and wow, I don't seem. Hold on, 1 second. I'm not going to give up just yet. Bear with me just for a second. Let's see if there's a way for me to find this. Okay, I think I might have found it. Let's see. Yeah, so tomorrow, November 4th, the meeting ID, family, the meeting ID for tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern will be 264 900 796. 264 900 796. And I'd encourage you, if you can, you can turn on your video and let's have a face-to-face discussion if you're able to. I am going to be using my video. I'm going totally live, and so keep Darrow, and see if Akut Yariya is able to do the same. But look forward to talking more about it tomorrow. So the number is 264 900 796. That's 264 900 796. There's also that information. There's a link on my Facebook page and in the my group, my CBD Works group. All right, so we'll do look forward to seeing you then, family. 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be on Fuse, but we'll be live on Facebook also. And YouTube. Because with Fuse I can't patch directly into Facebook Live. So what I'll have to actually do, I'll have to actually use this other program that I use for the broadcast that allow me to patch into Facebook and then broadcast Fuse from that program. Yeah, not the same number, not the same meeting number that as what we're using right now. Yeah, not the same number. 264 900 796 is the number that you'll use. That's the meeting ID number. 264-900-796. So when you go to Zoom, and I keep saying Fuse, I mean Zoom, family, Zoom, not Fuse, Zoom. I'm so sorry about that. When you go to Zoom, you're going to put in meeting number 264-900-796. 264-900-796. All right. Okay. Well, Mashpaka, Yahuah willing, I'll be talking to you soon. Yes. Indeed. Looking forward to seeing everyone. Yahuah. Well, we're going to close out in prayer. Yahuah. How about Yahuah? We thank and praise you for this fellowship. Praise you for your word. Yahuah. I praise you for my Mashpaka. Praise you for keeping us, for preserving us. We praise you for dreams. Praise you for favor and for opportunity. We also praise you for our haters. We praise you for those who despise us and seek to work against us. We praise you, Yahuah, for those who throw us into the pit and those who sell us into bondage. We praise you for them, because in it all we know that it works together for our good. So Abba, we esteem you. Help us not to be lazy. Help us, Yahuah, not to just fold our arms and wait, but let us be a people of action, a people who labor. Hallelujah. Do this, we pray. Watch over us and keep us and bring us together again safely. In your great name. Come on. Hallelujah. Love you all, family. May Yahuah barak you and keep you. May Yahuah lift up his face upon you and show favor unto you. May Yahuah cause his face to shine upon you and give you shalom. May the name of Yahuah be upon you. Hallelujah. Love you all. Appreciate you. Yahuah willing, I'll be seeing you soon.